Bill Villa is my guest again today.
Good morning, Bobby.
Good morning. Going to try to get him to be able to wrap up his story. Bill lost his daughter in a drunk driving, I don't want to call it incident.
Crash.
And felt he did not get justice, and in fact felt he had to fight for justice. Now, Bill...
Way too hard.
Yeah, way too hard. Now, he has again been asked by the Office of Victim Advocates in Harrisburg to share his story with graduating classes of Pennsylvania parole agents. These are the guys who are going to grant parole and going to check up on parolees, too,
right. Yep.
at their training academy. And he does that on a recurring basis, and there's a reason for it, and that is because they need to hear from the victims.
How crime victims are re-victimized by the justice and court systems.
Yeah. So,
and media.
And so, Bill, so your daughter was killed
back
Bobby,
on Friday we touched on how painfully long it takes DA Jim Martin to arrest and charge drunk drivers who kill people in Lehigh County. And I've emailed you case examples where it's taken Jim Martin a year or more just to arrest a drunk driver who kills somebody. Mm-hmm. And after that, Martin has taken up to another year to arrange what's typically a bargain plea deal with the DUI killer having been free the whole time and still driving. On Saturday, I emailed you yet another new case where it's taken Jim Martin 10 months to file charges. In Northampton County, DA John Morganelli routinely gets DUI killers, even an ex-cop recently, arrested and charged within 5 to 6 business days. I believe the victims of DUI killers in Lehigh County deserve this same kind of service.
All right, and you just feel that that's not happening now. But so what's your allegation? Are you alleging that he just doesn't care? Are you alleging incompetence?
Well, you know what? I'll report, you decide. There are other perks for DUI killers in Lehigh County. My daughter Sheena's killer somehow went to Belize, Central America for 10 days while out on bail for killing Sheena. I got an anonymous phone tip on it. My totally frantic question was, is he coming back? You know, I immediately called Jim Martin, the morning call, pretrial services, and...
nobody cared.
Jody Stephen there told me that Labarre did not have their permission to leave the country, and I fully expected the next day's morning call would read, grieving father discovers daughter's killer AWOL in Belize, you know. But the morning call refused to cover it. Nobody would. And when Labarre did return, tanned and smirking at me in court, Judge Steinberg just took his passport, finally, and let him stay free for another 6 months. He could have revoked his bail and jailed him, but he didn't. How can this happen? And nobody would answer my questions or report on this obvious favoritism, incompetence. The public never knew, and they have a right to know.
Hey, because this is not just, as you said, this is not just about you. You feel this is going on way too much in Lehigh County.
Way too much. I have case after case after case.
Yeah,
hopefully in the future we can come on and talk about it. I'd love to talk about this Lauer case, this James W. Lauer case that's going through the system right now.
And then the one you emailed me over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand. So it takes forever to get somebody arrested. Then people are leaving on this. According to you now, this Lauer guy got on after his third DUI.
Lauer was given an afternoon furlough from Lehigh County Prison while he was doing time for his third DUI. He was given an afternoon furlough to go to a wedding.
And your allegation is kind of like, what do they do at weddings?
Well, sure.
It's I don't mean to smile. It's kind of ludicrous.
Bobby, here's another shocking truth our local media concealed, and that's that...
Wait, concealed or just...
No, concealed. I'll tell you why. They never reported on this.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they concealed it.
Well, sure it does. Jim Martin arranged in secret a bargain plea deal with Sheena's killer and his family. He scheduled a court date, to make it official, and then he never notified our family about it. We weren't invited to the guilty plea hearing.
And you're supposed to.
Well, they had
Are they required by law to invite you?
They should be, don't you think?
I don't. Yeah, but are they?
They had us back on our heels waiting for a trial that was scheduled to start on Feb 12/07. Instead, Martin made it a plea deal on Feb 2, 10 days earlier. Never told us about it. Thank God another anonymous caller did tell us about it. Because if we wouldn't have been there in court, Martin could have dropped whatever charges he wanted.
And the judge would have seen it as you not being interested.
Yeah.
Right? I'm assuming?
Right. And 7 months later, Martin did this exact same thing to another grieving family, the family of DUI crash victim Zach Money.
So what are you saying though, Bill? I'm not gonna sit there. I'm giving you your airtime that you wanted. Is this just gross incompetence? What is it?
It's crookedness and incompetence, I believe, which is a really bad combination. I think we need to clean house at the Morning Call, 69 News, the Express Times, and we need to dethrone DA Jim Martin.
All right, well, that's pretty heady stuff because I don't, again, why don't you connect the dots for everybody again because I don't think they understand. So first of all, here's some of the stuff that we hadn't gotten to. Bill's daughter's killed in a DUI crash. The guy driving the car doesn't get charged for 2.5 months. He gets to go out without the people that he's supposed to check in with, knowing he leaves for a vacation on Belize. Bill's wondering if he's even coming back. Then you find out they're going to do a plea deal. You're not notified.
Morning Call refuses to report on it. Bobby, that would have been an above-the-fold front-page story in any other newspaper in America. Grieving father discovers daughter's killer AWOL in Belize.
You think it would have been?
I do.
All right. I'll tell you, I'm not trying to poke you in the eye here. You said I'd get you on and say your piece. Well, no, because some people say, well, gee, then listen, you have lost your daughter, and I empathize with you. That's why you're on. But some people would say, well, that's only affecting one guy. That's not a story like the stock market crashing.
No, this could happen to you, and it's happened to dozens of other people. I've been watching the district attorney's office and the local media and seeing how they collude to conceal the truth. I get contacted probably once a week by other crime victims who can relate exactly to all the stuff that I write about at my website, Lehigh Valley Somebody. It's all out there. I've been writing about this stuff for 5 years. It's all verifiably factual and true, which is why nobody sues me.
They're going to say, why this is so long ago, why didn't you just give up on this?
Well, because it's still happening. I mean, I sent you a case on Saturday where it took Jim Martin 10 months to charge a drunk driver who killed somebody. I mean, even though I've pounded the crap out of Jim for 7 years, he's made no changes.
All right. So any other things we wanted? So we got that one. So I wanted to get to some of the points that he had told me that he wanted to get to was the how long it took, the vacation to Belize,
moving the guilty plea hearing.
Moving the guilty plea hearing, not notifying you of it.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing in 2012. There was a restitution hearing having to do with restitution that Robert Labar was mandated by the Pennsylvania Superior Court to pass for Sheena's deathbed hospital bill. They convened a restitution hearing with Judge Steinberg and didn't invite us to that either. And we found out and showed up.
All right. If Jim Martin wants to come on and say his piece, he's welcome to.
There's a mic right here, Jim.
But Jim can come on by himself without you here, as I'm giving you time without him here.
That would probably be his choice.
Yeah, if he wants to come on, because look, I've heard from other people that feel that Bill's right. And they feel like this is not a one-time occurrence, that it happens all the time. And by the way, not just with DUI, although that seems to be something that just pops up all the time. All these DUI cases that you've sent me quite a list of them.
Bobby, you know what? Our local media is a crony, crooked, and colluding disgrace, really.
Well, you're saying that, though, because...
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But here's a fact. In May 2009, a civil jury awarded us $3.1 million in damages and ruled that J.P. O'Malley's bar was negligent in Sheena's death. But the Morning Call reported that J.P. O'Malley's was found not negligent. The fact is that O'Malley's was found negligent in Sheena's death, and I had to chase Morning Call editor Mike Miorelli every day for a month until he finally buried a correction in the newspaper. But the next day, they reran the incorrect, not negligent blurb again online. And when I called, politely, again, Miorelli responded by email saying that I needed psychiatric help.
Okay, so you're saying, though, that O'Malley's did not, you're saying that they totally got it wrong, that they ended up...
O'Malley's was ruled negligent by the jury. The next day, the Morning Call reported that they were ruled not negligent. Not only that, but they said the Villas will never see a dime. We saw many, actually. They also said O'Malley's good name had been restored. O'Malley's has been closed ever since our 2009 courtroom victory.
All right, now.
We shut him down because Jim Martin wouldn't.
I got an email here that says, come on, DA prosecutors always check with the victim before any plea. The judge won't accept unless the victim agrees, so they're not...
Well, here's an exception to that rule, because we had no notification of it, except for an anonymous phone call warning us to be there.
Okay, so it wasn't lost. I'm not being a smartass here.
No,
it wasn't
I
lost. It wasn't lost in the mail.
I
You're
understand.
sure there wasn't miscommunication.
No
You're
way.
answering. Your phone was.
You know what? Reporter Manny Gamiz at the Morning Call knows all about this, because at the time, Manny had attached himself to my hip, making like he was my friend. He spent hours and hours with me. Nothing that I told him ever ended up in the paper, including the names of the 5 precedent third-degree murder cases. It was Manny who actually looked up on a website and was able to tell me exactly when that guilty plea hearing was set up.
All right.
It was set up in late January.
Take a breath. We got a minute. All right. So I wanted Bill to get his case out and just be able, and that's pretty much you've heard over 3 days how this unfolded, and then now, according to him, what's happened as far as justice or not justice.
Way too cozy
and
between the Morning Call, 69 News, the Express Times, D.A. Jim Martin's office, and the law firm of Gross McGinley. Way too cozy.
Okay, now, there are other cases, and in the future, I said to Bill, if he feels like he wants to keep this whole issue going,
I'd love to.
We'll have him on as to talk about other DUI cases that are not being prosecuted, other people
And
that
other
are
kinds of cases, too.
other cases that people are not that people contact Bill about and need help with.
I can help you outmaneuver these guys.
All right, give me your website again.
You have to Google Lehigh Valley Somebody.
Lehigh Valley Somebody. All right, thank you, Bill Villa.
Thank you, Bobby.